Welcome to Tabletop Gaming with Juice. This is RPGaDay, days 23 through 29. I know I've been a little bit lax on this, but we're almost done to have this grouping and then two more to do. And we are on to the official countdown, I believe, to BrigadeCon 2016, which is October 29th. And you can all be a part of it. Go over to brigadecon.org, register there, and get on board with the best online gaming convention known to the RPG community. Now, with that, this is going to be just like the one I did last time where we were kind of doing some quicker answers. Some of them I'm going to have good answers. I haven't prepared these questions. I haven't read them. In fact, I just wrote them all down and then did this. So good luck to myself, I guess. All right. Day 23 was best worst luck stories. Now, I am known for being a player who takes a lot of crazy, unnecessary risks. For instance, I've done things like jump off a horse onto a creature that was on a frozen lake, which I was fine there. I've done things like instead of rappelling a steep sloped mountain, I took my shield off and tried to snowboard down it. I mean, I've done some crazy junk and gotten away with it. But some of my worst luck stories, two of them that come to mind are from the same DM. And I believe I talked about one of them recently. The DM was Brian Walter. He's going to be playing in one of my games next month. And both of my stories kind of come from him. The one I told you about was where I fell through spider webs. We were playing the Out of the Abyss. I think so, for Adventurers League, and I ended up fighting a mimic and stuff like that, but and dying. But it was also because I forgot that when I was raging, it was resistance to damage. But anyways, I don't know how I forgot that. But the other instance, at least I believe it was with him, was we were in a tavern and staying in an inn, I think, when we were attacked in our sleep. And I believe I tackled a guy through the window because I said I wanted to tackle him through the window because he came in through the window. And I wanted to land on top of him. And I still took fall damage and was severely hurt. But I think that was my best worst luck story because I didn't think I rolled really well, but I did okay. So I don't really have a lot where I can think of where I just didn't do well and it was really bad, other than the mimic story that I've already told you. But yeah, that one was cool because nobody's perception checks, I think, worked. And somehow I feel like I was the only one awake. And so when I tackled the guy through the window, I believe it woke everyone else up. But I landed on top of the guy and yeah, all ended well. So that was number 23. Day 24 was game most likely to give to others. Now, I don't know exactly what they're going for with this. Does it mean like the game you're most likely to give to others because you want people to try it, or the game that you're most likely to give to others because you want more people to play it? I don't know. So I kind of had to stew on this a little bit. Right now, I'm kind of interested in getting into Savage Rifts. And so that might be something I would probably be willing to give to my group. I'd probably be willing to give the D&D Player's Handbook for 5th edition to players. I've done it. In fact, I currently own 3 Player's Handbooks so that I can give them to people as they need them. And I think it's important to have that, at least when you're playing the game. Well, not necessarily during the game, but at least before and after and during breaks. And sometimes when you need to have someone look up a rule and stuff. But when it comes down to it, for me, I think the game that if I'm going to be giving it to my children and their friends and things like that, the game I would probably give away would be Heroes Unlimited by Palladium Books. And my reason for that is because that was the game that got me into RPGs. I love it. Yes, there's some things about it that aren't necessarily the simplest to understand. But I feel like that is the game I would probably give to, for example, my kids first. And I know it's not, well, not first, but I know it's not easy, but I think it would still be fun. And that game gave me an appreciation for creating characters. Loved creating characters for that. And that was before I had Powers Unlimited 1, 2, and 3, and all that other stuff. In fact, I think I only had Heroes Unlimited and Villains Unlimited, and yeah, that was it. And I just loved reading about the characters and creating characters and stuff like that. So probably Heroes Unlimited. Let's see. Day number 25 was what makes for a good character. Now, again, there's two ways to look at this. You can look at it as what makes a good NPC character, what makes a good player character. And so I'm going to tackle the player character first. For player characters, I think, for example, when you're playing in a campaign, it's important to not get stale. And for that to happen over the course of a campaign, you need some evolution to the character. There needs to be some change. I think when you play the same type of character, especially if you're the one playing it, it can get boring, at least for me. Brasswick Feeblehammer from Provokers, hands down my favorite character I've ever played. And part of it's on me. When I moved, I was really busy and I couldn't game for 3 months, 2 months, something like that. It was like late October through December, basically, until I got my house. Just could not find a way to actually play. And in that time, I missed a couple sessions. And so I missed what I feel were key sessions for growing my character, for showing different aspects to Brasswick. And for me, it got boring playing Brasswick. I tried to do some things that I thought could lead down a certain way. Talked to some people, they didn't think it made the most sense. So things didn't happen. But so I think what makes a good character is a character that evolves with the story, and whether they evolve with it or against it or whatever, but something that makes them interesting to play. Someone who seemed to have done a great job with that, for example, would have been Barker, the complete opposite. His character continued to evolve and became something completely different than at the beginning, and it felt very natural. And for me, it was awesome to watch. I loved seeing that. Even the other characters I felt evolved in a way that made it very compelling, and probably why so many people enjoyed the Provokers. Now, when it comes to NPCs, I think some of the stuff that makes them very good can be the attachment. And that doesn't have to be like an emotional, like, oh, I love this character kind of thing. It could be just wanting to fight that character again. Maybe you hate that character so much. Maybe it's a villain that always stifles your plans or screws something up. Or maybe it's just a random NPC who screws you over, who might not even be a bad guy, might not be a villain, but he does it so much that it's like, it draws an emotional reaction. And so you're like, you hate it when it happens, but at the same time, you kind of love it because it brings that emotional investment. So I think it's important to have some kind of attachment to an NPC. For a great character. Now, what exactly and how you do that is for something to cover in another video, but that's what I think is important for that. Day 26, what hobbies go well with RPGs? You'll probably see this in a lot of other videos. Video games, obviously, comic books. I think anything creative, whether it's painting, drawing, writing, all those things I think translate well in different ways. Writing especially, but yeah, there's so many things, and I would probably say all of them equally as well in their own ways. So yeah. Day 27 was most unusual circumstance or location which I have gamed. Oh my gosh. Haven't in person, haven't that I can think of gamed in any strange or unusual locations. Online, I've gamed in my basement, about 2 feet from a toilet with no wall, in the old house, not in this one, obviously. I've gamed at my brother-in-law's on their dining room table while we were house watching. I've gamed at my friend's apartment in his lazy boy when I was dog sitting. I have gamed in my... Have I gamed? No, not my in-law. Oh, I've gamed at my in-law's dining room table with just my wife when her parents were out of town. But yeah, nothing too crazy or unusual. Everything's been pretty standard dining room table somewhere. So usually at my house, sometimes others' houses. Day 28 was thing most surprised a friend had not seen or read. I don't know. That's tough. I think I had a player in a group one time that we had been playing for months, and she had no clue what she was able to do. She had no idea weapons-wise. She was a basic fighter, very, simple fighter. This was advanced, or this was 2nd edition D&D, and we were always constantly trying to teach her how to play, and she just, nothing stuck. And so I think I think it was always surprising when she had said she didn't know she could do that, or she didn't read that, because it was usually pretty basic stuff like, oh, I didn't know I could use an axe. It's like, well, yeah, or, oh, I didn't know I could climb that, or, all sorts of things. But yeah, anyway, so that's probably it. Let's see. Day 29. If I could game anywhere on Earth, where would I choose? Oh, this is interesting. I have a few thoughts on this. Gaming somewhere like New Zealand or Iceland or something that has some really cool scenery around sounds amazing. Maybe in a house with a lot of glass, so you are kind of, or a cabin or something with, I don't know, something like that would be cool. But I don't think that's where I would choose to game. I would probably want to game in a very public place, maybe very high up, maybe something like the CN Tower in Toronto, or the top of like the Empire State Building, something crazy like that. Obviously not outside though, because I don't want the wind blowing, but somewhere like that where you have a lot of people there possibly, and so people can see you game. And then on top of that, you're just in a very unique location. I think that would be kind of cool. The place in Vegas, what is it, the Needle or whatever it's called? I don't even know what it's called now. We almost went there for dinner last night in Vegas, not too long ago. But maybe something like that would be cool. Heck, in the middle of a casino on a craps table or something, that might be kind of cool. I don't know. But yeah, so it'd probably be something unique like that, just for the heck of it. I think that would be awesome. But yeah, so anyways, there's only 2 more of these to go. I'm going to record them tonight, but those will be posted tomorrow and Wednesday. So Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, that's RPGaDay. We're up through 29. So I hope you guys have learned some things. If you have questions or comments or whatever, let me know below. If you haven't seen the rest, check out the playlist and go back and do all those. Thanks. Bye.